And we are back live here in Fresno, California for this match between Chip Morales and my good buddy Abraham Montijo from Tucson, Arizona. Chip here from Fresno. It's the qualifier finals, and Dan Armijo is the referee.
Chip also our good buddy and the hometown favorite here, playing at his home club, Dave. And not a good start for Chip as he starts with a skip, and that's really been Chip's biggest weakness, Dave, is the case of the skips.
Well, in Salt Lake City, they call him Skip Morales.
You rarely see Abe Montijo skipping the ball because it's hard to skip a three-wall wraparound shot. And there's Abe going for his patented back wall setup three-wall kill. And that's a beautiful shot there from Abe. And I believe, Dave, that Abe has one of the great advantages in all of handball. He spars with Sean Lenning 2 or 3 times a week, Dave, and these guys go all out 3 times a week. Most of these top players, Dave, don't have that kind of opportunity to play against one of the top players. As you know from boxing, Dave, a lot of these top fighters that have become champions sparred with the champions as youngsters. George Foreman spent a lot of time in Sonny Liston's camp, for example, Dave, and later went on to become the heavyweight champion. Now Abe Montijo has a chance to train with one of the greats in Sean Lenning. And Sean Lenning, Dave, believe me, loves that just as much as Abe Montijo, having that opportunity. I don't like that short Z serve from Chip Morales. As we know, Dave, the objective of the serve is to either hit an ace or a service winner or get a setup.
Good call.
I don't see how you're going to get a setup hitting that short three-wall Z serve into Abraham's left hand. At best, Dave, Abraham will put you in that back left corner.
No. One serve. Point. 3-0. No.
Abraham off to a nice start here, Dave, and that's obviously what you want when you're playing against somebody that you've never beat before. It's one of the great cliches in sports is to get off to a great start. And there's Abraham with a beautiful open stance left kill. Straight down the middle of the court. Not an easy shot to hit. And there's a beautiful serve there from Abe Montijo. Chip Morales, Dave, looks a little bit slow here, a little bit rusty.
5-0.
Perhaps my source is a little bit better than yours coming into this event, as another unreturned serve from Abe Montijo.
6-0.
As you'll remember, Dave, it was Abe Montijo losing in the qualifier final in Tucson to my teammate John Bike Jr. But in the round previous to that, he beat Daniel Cordova, who's a rising star in this game, 25-3 behind 13 ace serves. So Abraham does have a great serve.
Point.
The referee is Dan Armijo. Referee jumping, Abraham Montijo jumping out to a nice, comfortable lead here to start off.
Well, Dave, I don't know if you saw that last play, but the referee calling a hinder, but then the ball hitting Chip after the ref called a hinder, but the point went to Abe Montijo because Chip couldn't have got out of the way, and Dan Armijo knows that rule. Chip did as well, surprisingly. It's the only rule he knows. And you know, Dave, you talk about how much of an advantage it can be to play on your home court. It can be very much a disadvantage also. You've got all your friends and family out here watching you. That adds a lot of pressure.
Well, sometimes when things start going bad, it gets compounded when you see all of your friends watching you.
I saw the host, Dave, of I believe the tournament's called the RFC. The host really unraveled there one time in front of a number of his hometown fans.
One time / every time.
Not when Jim Carner comes to town, he doesn't. He's very focused.
Side out.
And now Chip's
Check the ball.
admonishing himself with a
Might have
boisterous
broken that.
come
Doesn't
on.
sound.
That's really a sign, Dave, of a lack of
1-7.
confidence when you're pumping yourself up in the middle of a match, particularly when you're down.
Point.
This is the finals of the Art Coronado bracket. Art Coronado, the namesake of this tournament. Longtime staple in the area before he passed a few years ago,
2-7.
but before he left, his legacy being
Point.
transferred over to Jason Coronado and his other son, James Coronado, who's doing some
3-7.
great work with his Santa Barbara Youth Handball organization.
And Chip went for the turkey there, Dave. 3 aces in a row down the right side wall. Abraham just scraping that ball off, and now we're into a rally.
And a match.
That too. Chip Morales, Dave, his best shot is that serve down the right. It really sets up his offense and wins him a lot of free
4-7.
points. Now you see Abraham leaning to the right. Even though he's leaning to the right, he still has to dive in for that right crack serve. Chip Morales, Dave, has been just 1 or 2 points a year from being a top 10 player. He's come up short against Andy Nett, losing 11-10 to Andy Nett a couple of times in qualifier finals that would have put him into that elite top 10, top 12 range. He's also lost some other close heartbreakers along the way, Dave. And, you know, you talk about in golf, guys could be in the Hall of Fame if they had 2 or 3 inches different per year. Chip Morales is kind of on that fringe. And now a smart timeout
6-7.
from Abe Montijo.
6 unanswered points now for Chip Morales. Abe Montijo calling that quick timeout, and a smart call on his part. You see the scoreboard, which is brought to you by Zions, official sports drink of the UFC, and scoreboard of the WPH.
It's interesting, Dave. It was Abe Montijo leading 7-0. He waited until Chip Morales scored 6 consecutive points to call a timeout. But don't forget, we're playing just 1 game to 25, and you only have 3 timeouts. So do you adjust your timeout strategy because you only have 3 timeouts going to 25? Now do you wait 4 or 5 points to call that timeout, or do you still call the timeout after 3 points? Because as you know, Dave, 25's a big difference from 21.
Well, you get the 3 timeouts, but you also get a 4th timeout, a 3-minute timeout at 15. So that's 4 timeouts in 25 minutes. I believe Abe could have spared one of those at about point number 3 or 4.
Well, that's what I'm asking, Dave. If you think the players should stick to their 3-point or 4-point rule, or, you know, wait until your opponent scored 6.
Well, only Abe knows what his strategy is here. Sometimes you feel very confident, but it's not about that. It's about breaking the momentum.
Well,
It's not about your confidence.
I certainly agree with you.
You have to use them as tools. Now, you're a tool,
One
and you
serve.
know exactly
That's true.
how to, okay.
I was following you actually there and waiting for more.
I had no more.
Okay.
Oh, there's Chip holding down the
Together
roof,
at 7.
keeping it down. We're all
No,
tied.
short.
I've seen him pushing the roof down for so many years. I'm
1 serve.
starting to think maybe you should push it up. I know it's not that
Point.
Well, he just-
stylish now.
He's got 8 unanswered points, though.
No bad bounces.
Well, I can tell you, he might be pushing it down,
8-7.
but his gallery is raising the roof right now.
Short, short.
I'd like to see a replay on that. It's going to be appealed by Chip Morales.
Short. Both agree. 1 serve.
Let's just act like we were reviewing this. Simple green replay. It was short, I believe.
I agree. Those are the toughest balls to call because they merge with the
Point.
sidewall. You don't know if they hit the sidewall and then the line, or the sidewall and after the line. Hard to tell.
9-7.
9 unanswered points
Called it
now for
short.
Chip Morales, and a short ball. It could have been called a foot fault as well.
1 serve.
He was trailing 0-7 to a very hot Abe Montijo. Now he looks like he's in complete control, and Abe's made a lot of hand errors. There's another hand error from Abraham Montijo, and eventually, Dave, and you've been in this point before, you start making those hand errors, they just become infectious. Like they seem to find the bottom of your hand.
10-7.
How do you break out of those?
That's very difficult. Sometimes, David, it takes just one really good
Point.
shot to break out of that spell. And right now, Chip's not even letting Abe touch the ball. He's hit 7 aces here.
Now, I was going to say that Chip's on fire, but really it's Abraham
11-7.
Montijo's 5 hand errors here in this run.
Well, when your opponent's serving 7
Nope.
aces out of his 11 points, which have been scored consecutively, It's
One
very
serve.
difficult to get into your rhythm. When you're not in a rhythm, you start to make those hand airs.
Look at that.
No.
Another ace from Chip Morales.
Absolutely incredible display of serving here.
12-7.
8 ace serves, and these aren't unreturned serves, Dave. These are actually aces.
He almost got another one.
Abe's doing a little bit too much flopping here, I think, Dave. He needs to stay on his feet and start driving the ball.
Nice get right there from Abraham Montijo.
But you see Abraham on the ground on every point. You're not going to win handball matches from the ground.
Side out.
As Chip Morales goes for the Andy net, backhand punch fist re-kill.
Chip did not play that rally correctly. He had Abraham on the ground and he went to that two-wall pass right into Abe's kitchen. The score here is 7-12. Abraham Montijo once up 7-0. Chip now picking back away in one inning, getting 12 straight points.
Well, the Chip played the perfect point, just unable to execute his kills, and that was Chip's mistake right there.
7-12.
And even that, not a great shot from Abraham Montijo, but I believe Abraham needs to come in here and score at least 3 points to get this momentum back on his side.
Back on the ground again as Abraham Montijo now resets the action. Chip's going to go for the kill shot and gets it. Abe back down on the ground again. Abe spending a lot of time down there, and Chip would have been down there too, and now a point called from Dan Armijo.
Stayed down the wall.
But Dave, have you ever seen a
I know,
player
but it didn't ever come out.
play this many balls from the ground?
Well, and then the referee calls that a
8-12.
point for Abraham. And
We didn't have a good view of that. I think our referee had a better view than us, and I
Screen, hold it.
would defer to
Screen
him
serve.
to make the best call from
well,
that point of
let's
view.
look
Okay.
here. I believe Chip can get this.
Okay.
2 serves, 1 screen.
The referee is right on top of that action there.
I just don't see that's not decisive in my opinion. It better be more decisive to call a point. Don't
I
you
believe
think?
it's one of those calls that
Hold it.
really could go either
Replay.
way. I happen to agree with the referee there.
I agree with him there, but I don't
But
agree with him the other.
I was talking about the other time. I agree with him on both.
8-12.
It would have been a very difficult shot for Chip, but I believe you can get a hand on it. 8-12.
Note.
Abe Montijo has been unsuccessful trying to qualify this season on the race for 8. He lost to Desi Keegan in Idaho. He held an 18-12 lead there in
One
that
serve.
qualifier final before succumbing 25-19, then lost pretty badly to John Bike Jr. on his home court in Tucson as John Bike just took apart Abe Montijo. And here's Abe now in his 3rd qualifier final of the season. And you wonder, Dave,
9-12.
if some of those losses start to erode his confidence.
Check the ball.
And let's not
Broken.
forget, Dave, that we
play
have
the
our
whole
first
game
broken
over.
ball here. But let's not forget, Dave, Abe does have the opportunity to play Sean Lenning every week, which is certainly great experience, but he's losing all those matches. So he's not building any confidence in practice by going out and losing 3 matches a week. Most of these guys come to this event, Dave, and
Could
haven't
someone,
lost a match
bring
since the
ball into
last
the
tournament.
court? Oh, you got it? Here we go. Now we're working.
You don't want to get into that sparring partner mentality, Dave. Sparring partners are just in there to survive. And I think you're seeing a lot of that in Abe Montijo's game right now, is balls that he could be driving, he's flopping instead. He's starting to look like Dennis Rodman out there. Dave taking the charge on every offensive possession. I thought that your sports knowledge extended a little bit farther back than it actually does.
I just didn't comment.
Huh.
I do this
Didn't-
great trick that when you talk, I drink water.
Is that what that foamy surface like substance is?
Nine, 12.
Score is 9-12. Abraham Montijo now on a 2-point run.
Well, remember, Dave, I
Point.
said that Abe need to come here and score 3 points. He's done just that. I believe
10, 12.
Abe has neutralized the momentum here. And we're basically starting this match over right now, as it was Abe dominating early, Chip completely dominating after a slow start, and now Abe right back in this game.
Side out.
And that's a poor air there. Clumsy footwork from Abe Montijo. I think some of that had to do with that dark sidewall
12,
glass, not
10.
judging that shot properly. And it sounds easy,
Side
Dave,
out.
but you have to keep Chip Morales out of that server's box, because the more serves he hits, the more comfortable he gets, Dave, and the more he starts to lock in on that short right
10,
crack,
12.
which is his best shot.
Nope.
I know
serve.
that you have a chance to spar with Abe Montijo a lot as well, Dave, but he goes for that reverse down the left on the serve, and he comes up short almost every time because he doesn't stay down on it. He lifts up before he finishes his swing, and we'll see if we can
Well, it works when we play.
get a okay.
But that's about confidence. I think when Abe
Side out.
starts getting tense, he doesn't bend his knees and he stays upright. He has to get down and let his shoulder and his chin go from left shoulder to right shoulder as he keeps his head right on the ball.
12,
It's going to
10.
lose some power, but it's going to gain more control. See how Chip stays down there.
So you're saying in practice, Abe does stay down?
I believe that in practice he's more relaxed because he knows he's playing me,
Okay.
to be honest. And against a guy like Sean, his serve is not effective. You're also seeing that here with Chip. Now, if he can gain a lead with Chip, you see
13,
that
10.
confidence, and therefore he's more relaxed. It's very hard to serve your best serve when you're tense, especially when you're trying to hop the ball, reverse or go with a natural. You have to be relaxed. It has to be so relaxed in order to do it.
Nice
Side
power
out.
there from Abraham, stepping into the back wall pass. Let's not
10,
forget, Dave, if you
13.
watch a Paul Brady or a Nadi Alvarado player, even a Luis Moreno, you don't see them on the floor very often, if ever. Abe Montijo off his feet far too often on the handball court.
I think that's a product of him playing too far back. You see Abe is way back right now. You see some of the top pros, Dave Chapman, Tony Healy used to do this. They would always get back to that red carpet about dead center of the court where Abe just jumped up there just now. That takes away your opponent's shots. Abe's playing too far back right now.
Abe catches the sidewall there. Would have been a good shot if he can keep it off that sidewall.
I feel like I'm watching a game of Pong here. That was a bad bounce in the back corner. Chip pumping himself up after that bad bounce.
I believe Chip wasting a lot of valuable energy, shouting and pumping himself up.
13, 10. Hold it, replay.
Abe now just scooping those returns, Dave. Not all of Chip's serves are staying
13,
2 or
10.
3 inches high off that right side wall.
Short.
We're seeing the majority of Chip's serves now hanging up
One
on that
serve.
right side wall. Abraham
Wait.
should be stepping
Hold
in,
it.
bending and swinging hard, but instead he's just scooping that ball.
One serve.
Chip told me, Morales
Hit
told me
him.
earlier that he's about 2 weeks
Play it
away
again.
from being in really good shape, and he said he
Two
would be ready
serves.
for Atlanta, but right now he doesn't feel completely back to where he needs to be.
Well, we've seen Chip talking about the new
13-10.
Chip quite a bit.
There's another dive from Abraham Montijo. I think you need to adjust your placement of where you stand on those serves from Chip.
Up.
Chip is hitting so many cracks, Dave. Would you take about
Side
a
out.
foot step forward, maybe even 2?
Absolutely. Force Chip to hit a different
10,
serve, because if you move up 2 or 3 steps, that short right crack is not effective.
It also works into the head of those serving.
And look at
Hold
Abraham
it.
not letting
Play
that
over.
ball drop. And we'll take a quick instant replay of that last play. Abraham has a huge setup on the return of serve. Doesn't even go for the kill, nor does he
10,
bend.
13.
Watch this here, Dave. You see every other pro player there, Dave, would take a step back and let the ball drop and shoot that.
This is about being calm and patient as much as it's about being in great physical shape and having the shots.
Abraham reminds me of standing on the
13,
first tee,
10.
or maybe standing on a tee box with water on the left.
Abe playing back again on that serve.
I believe, Dave, that Chip should take advantage of Abe's poor court positioning by shooting more balls. Chip with his 14th point and 6th fist pump
Timeout.
of this
Score is 14-10.
match.
Strange that Abraham's taken a timeout right before halftime. Score is at 14-10. One more point from Chip Morales, and Abe would have got a free timeout. Now he's going to burn one. Now that could be part of the strategy. You know, you don't want to say that I'm going to give Abe or Chip his 15th point, but you know, Dave Chapman has a rule that if he doesn't feel that he can return a serve, he'll call a timeout. It doesn't matter what score it is. If he doesn't feel he can return it because of physical fitness, or maybe he has extended rallies where he's a little tired, he says, I'll just call a timeout. So he does a strategy timeout and a physical fitness timeout. Maybe Abe is saying to himself right now, I'm just not physically fit for this serve.
Well, I happen to think that Abraham doesn't have anything to lose by losing one more point here and going into that 3-minute break. Should he earn the side out, score a couple of points, and then have Chip score one more, they go to halftime anyway. I don't think this timeout was worthwhile. I think Abraham may need one of those timeouts late in this match should Chip put together another run, or should he be tired.
Well, by taking a timeout here, he's now burned 2 in the first half. He's only going to have one more left, and that's when he's really going to need it in crunch time versus Chip Morales, who's up 14-10. You're watching the WPH Simple Green Race for 8 here in Fresno, California. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside broadcast partner and BFF, Dave Fink. We actually have a New Year's resolution. It's the first time that two people have actually have a pact on that, and that is that you and I are going to try to be friends off camera for the remainder of this year. Let's see what happens.
I didn't see that in my Christmas stocking.
Timeout.
And Chip Morales going with the handshake at halftime.
Montijo will be serving.
We've seen 2 of the 4 matches go to the handshake.
Well, the players have really adopted this new format. They like it, and they actually say that this is very similar to a game ending. And if this game were to end right now, it would be Chip Morales winning the first game 15-10, and therefore that's why you see the handshake. You're watching the Simple Green Race for 8, stop number 4 in Fresno, California. The scoreboard powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC, and the official scoreboard of the WPH. Also, First Star Sports, where the players are wearing their gear. You can find them at firststarsports.com/WPH. You can dress just like the pros. First Star Sports, the leader in dry fit and cool skin technology. You love the way that those shirts feel. And now you too could actually put those on.
I love the way they look as well.
They do look
very
sharp.
stylish.
This pro season has brought a lot of interesting, new, innovative ideas. What are the couple? I know I'm catching you off guard here, but what are the top 2 or 3 things that you see in this pro tour compared to the tour that you were on when you were younger?
Well, I certainly love the exposure that the pros get here at this event. The pros are being broadcasted live here at every event. The pros are now being interviewed after the matches. I think the fans can really start to relate to the pros and develop relationships with these pros. The pros are traveling to all these different cities, and you're seeing the pros every month live on the internet, and obviously you can watch them on Vimeo as well. I love, Dave, that the format, having these guys qualifying, not having to play too much handball on Thursday, but still having something left on Friday, and I think we see a lot of unpredictability as a result. We're seeing guys, Charlie Shanks starting the season with no ranking whatsoever. Now he's up to number 5, and you're seeing that kind of fluctuation based on the format here. And tomorrow we're going to be debuting the rally scoring for the first time in small ball handball. Very excited to see how that turns out. The reaction of not only us, but the players and the fans. And we'll see if that might be something we continue to do, or if we go to matches that are strictly 1 game to 25 matches, or if we try the traditional 21 and 11 point matches.
I'm starting to like this 1 game to 25, a win by 2, halftime at 15, play all bad bounces. The person who serves first to start the game serves is a return of serve person in the second half of that qualifier. I'm liking this format. Maybe we might like the rally scoring that we're going to see coming up with the pro matches in the top 12. That's a new innovative idea, twist that we are doing, like you said, for the fans, for the sponsors, for the players. You know, trying to get it a little bit quicker. Also, we're trying to get handball on TV, and it's you're seeing matches that are lasting 2.5 hours. TV is just not going to pick up handball if you have a 2.5 hour time slot.
You know, Dave, some people don't like to disclose what they vote, but I actually did vote for the all matches being 1 game to 25 traditional scoring, but I did spar a little bit earlier this week with rally scoring. I liked it. So
Okay, well, we'll see how that fares. Here, though, it's Abraham Montijo changing gloves and getting ready for the second half after he was
30
down
seconds.
versus Chip Morales 7-0. He came back, and now Chip Morales is, actually it was Chip Morales down 0-7. Came back, is now leading 15-10 here after the first half.
I love the flow of these matches, Dave. You don't see the toweling, you don't see the extended timeouts or the glove changes. These matches are crisp, they're high quality, and they're just about the right length, Dave, where you're captivated, you're on the edge of your seat, but you're never restless. I think that's the perfect combination for any sport.
I agree with you about that. There's a lot of innovations in this season.
10 serves.
One that I really like is that at every one of the stops we have a junior clinic, and we try to get it on the live webcast so you can watch at home as well. And we're going to certainly do that tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific time, right here on the live webcast. You will be on the court tomorrow at 1 o'clock alongside Abraham Montijo and hopefully Sean Liming.
I would actually like to see Fred Lewis on the court.
Well, he's actually going to be on the court as well. That's going to be Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Are there going to be any room for kids with all those
Just gonna be
legends
you
and
guys.
pros? Okay. I was thinking maybe just have a round table discussion in the court. Roll a table into that court and mic everyone up. Talk strategy. I see that on,
Point.
I believe, ESPN 360 or one of those shows that you love so much.
Chip Morales at 17, Abraham Montijo 10.
17.
Abe will
10.
not be able to make it to Hotlanta for the qualifier. He is going to elect to go to the Red Death tournament in Montana instead. He said that he cannot take time off school to take that Thursday off because he has a final exam on that day, but he can fly Thursday evening late.
No.
Will that be a
Point.
WPH sponsored sanctioned event that Abe
Yes.
Montijo will be conducting?
Yes.
Okay. I know, Dave, I can speak
18.
as a fan. Love
10.
seeing those recaps and those pictures and write-ups that some of our representatives write up and cover when they travel to these various cities.
Well, if you have a handball tournament in your area and you'd like the
19-10.
WPH to come cover, make sure to contact
No.
us. You never know,
One-
even the big
one
dog
serve.
will make a trip every 3 or 4 years. Look at that terrible
Point.
hand air from Abraham Montijo. Now at 20-10, this is a dismantling from Chip Morales.
And it's been surprising here, Dave, in these 4 qualifier finals. We haven't seen a close match. We saw some
20-10.
really close matches in the first round. Generally, we see less competitive matches in the first round of the qualifier and very competitive qualifier finals. Today, it's been the opposite. We saw Emmett
20-10.
Pichot defeat Dan Armijo 25-7. Actually, that was 25. That's right, 7. Anton Wilson defeating Luis Cordova 25-2. And Carlos Chavez defeating George Garcia 25-9.
10-20.
Score here is 10-20.
Much like the San Francisco 49ers, Dave, they're not built to play from behind. Abe Montijo is not built to play from behind. He relies on his defense and scrambling. It's very difficult, Dave, for Abe Montijo to put together a 10 or 12 point run. He doesn't have the big serve or the explosive firepower. He needs to keep games close.
Well, Chips showed us that he's relying on that serve and shoot game, that first strike, as you call it.
Well, that's why I would favor Chip to make comebacks of 20-10 because he's got that explosion and that firepower in his game.
Chip Morales just pulled off a 5-second fist pump. I haven't seen that too often.
That was a victory lap fist pump tour.
I wasn't sure if I was watching
21-10.
Cal Ripken or Chip Morales score a point here. Watch this setup. Abe back on the floor.
Surprisingly, Dave, we haven't seen Chip on the Race for Aid Pro Tour yet this season. Usually Chip does not miss a stop. Did play in the US Open, but in the doubles there, This is his first singles appearance in a number of months in a pro event.
22-10.
And Abe Montijo, Dave, has been outscored 22-3 in the last 25 points. That ball hitting the door handle, but we play all bad bounces.
Timeout.
And now, Abraham using his third and final timeout here in this match. Chip Morales, 2 points from advancing, Dave. I'm looking forward to hearing from Chip Morales after this match. You know, he's got to be so excited with so much adrenaline running through his body, having all of his hometown friends, family, frenemies watching here in the gallery.
The scoreboard says game 1, but that's the only game. This is a 1-game match to 25.
It could actually say match 4.
What, I guess it could say match 4.
This is our fourth qualifier final of the day.
Scoring format's just a little different on this race for 8. I know some that said they couldn't quite understand it, but I don't see any other way of explaining it.
23-10.
23-10, win by 2, but I don't think Chip is going to have to worry about that. I want to congratulate our film crew for making the best of these camera angles. It's not the best filming area, but I'm actually kind of...
That could have been unavoidable on Abraham as he did pick up there. Didn't matter as Chip stepped in.
I'm actually kind of growing, it's growing on me, some of these camera angles here, Dave. It's not quite as bad as it seemed like it would be when we first walked in, but...
Well, I'm an optimist, and I was optimistic about the camera angles, and I haven't been disappointed. I'm always looking for that glass half full. It's just how I am.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I thought we had this
No, I said, yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe I didn't word it. My fluctuation was wrong. Sorry.
Fluctuation, critically important.
Very important in this booth. That will determine whether or not you and I continue to talk or not.
Point.
Very disappointing match here for Abraham Montijo, who certainly came here with high hopes.
11-24.
But it's been the local guys, Dave, who have completely dominated. All 4 qualifiers, Dave, living in California, 2 of them living within 3 miles of this
24.
club. Another one making the short trip from Southern California, and of course Emmett Pachot living here now on his winter break, just about 2 hours up the road.
Now after this match, it'll be our last filmed match of the evening, and then we'll flip on over to live handball tomorrow in the middle of that great rally right there with Chip Morales flubbing that ball. He thinks it's a screen.
But I believe, Dave, that we'll have the Chip Morales interview, and immediately following that live on the webcast, we will go to the blind draw.
Now Chip says he was kicked here.
I know, but it didn't bother you. Just.
I don't understand that call. Clearly it bothered him.
It's the foot. Watch the foot. Watch.
But
Abe.
it's a screen as Abe picks up his foot. That's obviously a screen.
But the ref didn't call it. He called a point. That's why Chip is chirping.
I agree. Yeah,
okay,
it was a bad call by a referee, certainly.
Chip is chirping.
Let's play ball. 11-24.
Chip is up by 15 points, and he's worried about that.
It is surprising.
Is it?
Maybe not considering the company.
There's a screen, no call. Chip's upset about that. He's going to
Abe
look.
slides the back wall setup down that right side wall, but it's too little too late for Abe Montijo. I would say he's trying to cover the spread, Dave, but this was actually a pick-em match.
Yeah, I was thinking like a 25-21 type game. Certainly not 12.
Chip goes down to one knee and punch fists the ball back in the court. And this is, Dave, where I think it gets a little bit dangerous in there. You know that there's a big wet spot right around where Chip is standing towards that right side wall, but yet the players play through the point. Not much we can do about that. It is certainly dangerous, though.
I agree with you. I also disagree with Chip selling out on balls like that because, again, he's just 1 point away. I don't believe you need to slide with your head into a side wall and try to win a rally when you're up by 15 points or 13. It just doesn't make sense.
24-25.
I would have gave it to you, but you looked like you had it.
You can't really see the risk being worth the reward there. What can he really do with this shot? He's got a better chance of giving himself a concussion than returning that ball. There's a look at our referee, Dan Armijo. Standing next to him is the head of the referees, Tommy Little, who supervises all of the refereeing here. What I like about Tommy, Dave, he doesn't let his personal friendships with all these guys
20 seconds.
Compromise his evaluation of their refereeing performance. He hands in a very detailed description in bullet form to the Pro Player Committee each day at the conclusion of the matches. And we evaluate the referees and determine who refs on the next day. And there's the 14th fist pump from Chip Morales and the 25th point. And Chip Morales still fist pumping, now blowing kisses. And that beautiful smile. And we'll see, Dave, if we can get Chip Morales into the booth here. It's going to be difficult. Chip Morales is a rock star here. We'll have to weed our way through this huge gallery of Chip Morales supporters.
Well, Chip Morales just now taking down Abraham Montijo, and now will be part of the blind draw that we hold a little later on. This is the Art Coronado bracket of this Race for 8 stop. Art Coronado was a self-taught, lifelong handball player and promoter of the game. Born in Glendale, Arizona, he moved to Fresno, California at a young age, along with his mother and 10 siblings. With his father staying behind in Arizona, Art was left the burden of raising many of his young brothers and sisters, in addition to what would become his own 5 children with his wife of over 38 years, Patsy. Like most of us, he took to sports and an outlet and a way of teaching life's philosophies to his younger counterparts. As we handball lovers know, Art and most of his family became addicted to the sport of handball, and he has brought it to this community, and that's why we are honoring him, Art Coronado, at his Memorial Handball Tournament. We'll talk more about Art Coronado as the tournament progresses, as the weekend progresses. In the meantime, though, over here to Dave Fink's right is Chip Morales. Chip, you know, congratulations. You defeated a guy, once again, that you have been victor over many times before, Abraham Montijo. How are you feeling?
Good since I started training about a month ago, give or take, but I feel good that I was able to play well. My home court, so I got a lot of energy off that, off the crowd, you know. But he's fierce, he's tough, and just had to play hard and play my game. My serves were on.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, your game is that serve and first strike, and your serve didn't allow you to have to worry about the first strike.
Yeah, fortunate. I was fortunate. Hopefully carry on tomorrow.
Well, early on, Chip, you trailed 7-0. Was that a factor of being a little bit nervous with all your friends and family watching you, or just him playing well?
I'd say not too much nervous, more he played well. He was, I think he got nervous when I started going on a little run, you know. But,
well, there wasn't much he could do. You hit 8 aces out of your first 12 points. To take that 12-7 lead, you really never look back.
Yeah, I just tried to, you know, step on the throttle and keep going. And, you know, I've always been a slow starter in, you know, in regular matches, but this makes you intense. You know, I really focused on warming up really, really well and running like if I already, you know, getting my second win. So I know I had to, you know, it's like a tiebreaker. You got to fight, fight, fight. If not, you're done, you know.
Now, you had your home crowd here. How does that feel? I mean, you've been playing on the road, not a lot of race stops this year, but you know, we're more familiar with seeing you outside of this home state. And what does it feel like to play in front of this group that you've grown up playing with, and they vitalized you here locally? And
It feels good. It feels good. So that, they always hear about me and they don't see too much. So it feels good to play in front of them. See, they've all taught me something, and it's in the court, outside the court. But it just felt good to make them proud, I hope.
I noticed that you added the fist pump to your game. You've had that in the past, but today you executed 14 fist pumps after winning rallies.
Yeah,
What has that done for your game?
It just keeps me going. I think, it gives me that momentum. I feel like I'm strong, forget about that point. Let's go right now, right now. That's what that fist pump is.
You kind of migrate away from the push the roof down to the fist pump.
Yeah, I think
this right here is a calm down chip. This is a step it up chip.
Yeah, let's go.
Talk about, now you're from Fresno. You're from Fresno. You're from the local area. Tell me about the influence of Art Coronado and what he means to this community.
Oh, Art's he was a great man, real great man. Mine I admired and looked up to as a father figure. I used to go to tournaments, just me and Art and I. So he used to take me. I'd play doubles with him, A's, B's, growing up. And he's been a terrific role model. And everybody just loved him. Wicked serve, and just a lot of heart. Love the game. So
we're honoring him this week
yes,
with his memorial tournament. And unfortunately he passed away, but he gave a legacy to his kids and to the local community, and hopefully some of that latched on with some of those that are your fans now watching, and maybe even with you as you get older and start giving back to the kids in the junior. We were telling Dave earlier that tomorrow at 1 o'clock you are part of a junior handball clinic right here courtside.
Oh.
I actually believe that'll be on Saturday.
It'll be on Saturday, sorry.
But,
I said
but coming up, Chip, in just about 5 minutes, will be the blind draw. You'll be drawing for one of the players in that 5 through 8 range. You'll be playing either Charlie Shanks, your good buddy Armando Ortiz, myself, or Tommy Little.
And now, last time you said, in Tucson, you wanted Tommy Little. What happened at that result?
He played well in that tiebreaker, and I just ran out of fuel. I was just done.
Are you still just picking Tommy for this one?
Everybody is. But he's tough, he's tough. It's just, but playing to just 25 one game really helps. Those who qualify and have to turn around and play a good top 8 player, because you have to bring your best tomorrow.
Well, congratulations. Once again, qualifying with the WPH, but also just qualifying as a pro player.
Thank you.
It's very important that you've participated in this event, and we appreciate the fact that you've been part of the series and that you continue to support the WPH.
Yep. And I'll see you in Atlanta, too, after this.
Okay, you got it.
All right.
Chip Morales going to be part of that blind draw that you spoke about, Dave Fink, just a few minutes ago. Let's talk about that blind draw. Right now, it's Tommy Little, it's Charlie Shanks, it's Armando Ortiz, and it's yourself. I know you're just really gearing up to be a part of this. We're not going to have this live on the air because we're going to get the players into a circle, and hopefully we'll take pictures of that and report back. So go to our Facebook page, our home page, and check your emails because we'll be splattering it all over the internet, the results of what will be on. A great way to check out who will be in the actual top 12. Right now we have a Elite 8 is what we call it that are named, but the 4 qualifiers will be integrated in. Go to r2sports.com and check out the Fresno tournament. In about 30 minutes or so, we'll have everything all updated for you. In the meantime, we're going to say goodbye. We'll be back tomorrow, I believe, at 10 o'clock in the morning for the very first match. It'll be Sean Linning versus the excuse me, it will not be Sean Linning because he is getting a free bye. Let's go ahead and take a look at our monitor here. Tommy Little versus one of those blind draws. That's either going to be Carlos Chavez, it could be Anton Wilson, could be Emmett Peixote, or Chip Morales. We'll find out probably in about 30 minutes or so. In the meantime, that'll be at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Let's not forget, Dave, we will be playing rally scoring best of 3, all games to 25 tomorrow. So a little bit of different format, and we'll see how the players obviously adapt to that and how much they enjoy that, and whether we incorporate that into the rest of this series like the rest of pro sports have done. You see every pro sport using rally scoring, and we said, why not us? So we're going to find out this weekend, and certainly tomorrow's going to be a great day of handball.
It's like rolling the dice and throw it in and see if it sticks. We'll have more action tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for tuning into this live broadcast. I want to say hello to my wife, also my mom watching at home. And I know this is, not normally the DV family hour. I know you have at least 2 or 3 friends. I know you burn bridges with those same 3, but I know that they're probably also watching. So say hello to your father and your mom, Dee Dee. Okay, we're going to say goodbye. For Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, Dave Fink, myself, we'll be back tomorrow at 10 Pacific time for more live broadcast action here at racefor8.com. See ya.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on 3 principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teams are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.